good morning to all. So now we discuss the second unit, classes and objects. That is object oriented analysis and design. The unit 2 is classes and objects. Okay. See, what is meant by classes and objects? See, when we use an object oriented methods to analyze or design a complex software system, and our basic building blocks are classes and objects. An object is an abstraction of something in a problem domain, it reflecting to the capabilities of a system to keep information about it and interact with it, or both. An object have an internal state that is recorded in a set of attributes. An object have behavior that is expressed in terms of operations, and the execution of operations changes the state of an object or stimulates the execution of operations in other objects. Okay, an object have an origin in a real world entity, and classes represents group of objects which have the same behavior and information structures, and every object has an instance of a single class, and a class is a kind of type, and an ADT, that is an abstract data type, or an entity with the methods. And a class defines the possible behaviors and information structures of all its object instances. Simply a class is called a set of attributes of, okay, and object is a class of instances. Okay, and second, the nature of an object is, so what is and what is not an object. From the perspective of human cognition, an object is any of the following, that is a tangible or visible thing, that may be visible thing or tangible thing, and something that may be apprehended intellectually, and something toward which thought or action is directed. So what is the process, what is the action will be defined. And informally, object is defined as a tangible entity that exhibit some well-defined behavior. An object model some part of reality and is therefore something that exists in time and space. And Smith and Toki suggests that an object represents an individual identifiable item, unit or entity, either real or abstract, with a well-defined role in the problem domain. Example, the manufacturing plant for making aeroplane wings, bicycle frames, and so on. Okay, these are the example of the different things. And what is not an object? That is, the time, beauty, or colors are not object, but they are properties of the other objects. So which are not an object is the time, beauty, or colors are not objects, but they are properties of the other object. We say that mother loves her children, that is the one object, and it is to the another object, that is the mother loves her children, that is an object to the another object. Okay, and an object state has a state, behavior, and identity. These are three properties of an object, that is the state, behavior, and identity. The structure and behavior of similar objects are defined in the common class. See, the structure and behavior of similar objects are defined in their common classes. See, in the terms of instance and object are interchangeable. The both are the interchangeable. Okay, now see here, it is the state, it is the behavior, it is the identity. So likewise, we have to define, this is one of the state of the object, it is the same state of the, like, behavior, it is the process of the particular thing, it is the identity. So how we can identify this is an object, this is the one of the object, like that. So the base upon these structure is called as one of the object. So likewise, in the base of these structure we can identify it is a one of the object. Okay, now, and it is the process, that is behavior, how it will be used. Likewise, we have to use that one. Okay, it is one of the state, that is a hammer, that is C grade 1 hammer, that it is the state, it is the behavior, it is the identity. So how identify the state? This is one of the state of the hammer, it is the behavior of the hammer, and it is the identity. Identity can use, this is the part of the thing we can identify it is a hammer. Okay, and state, see, the state of an object encompasses all of the properties of our object plus the current values of each of these properties, and is called as a state. Okay, and object state is represented with one or more attributes. Okay, in object has different type of attributes, only one or maybe more than one attribute. Okay, see, the state of an object encompasses all of the properties of the object plus the current, that is the dynamically using of the values of each of these properties. And object state is represented with one or more attributes. See, it is the customer, these are the name of the customer, the properties of the customer is name, account number, balance amount. These are the properties, like these are the attributes of the particular customer. Okay, then go for the behavior. Behavior is how an object acts and reacts, that is the how a particular object has been acting and how it will be reacted, that is called as the behavior of the particular object. See, behavior is how an object acts and reacts in terms of its state changes and message passing. It may be terms of the changes and message passings. So, and the state of an object represent the cumulative result of its behavior. The based upon the result, we can say it is the behavior of the particular object. Okay, see, the state of an object represents the cumulative result of its behavior. Okay, and object behavior is implemented with one or more operations. So, how it will be implemented the based upon the different type of operations, we can identify this is the behavior, and this it will be act like that. Say, we can say that the behavior of an object. Okay. Next, operations. An operation denotes a service that a class offers to its clients. Whenever we can provide a service to the other object, that is called as a operation. See, an operation denotes a service that a class offers to its clients. A client typically performs 5 kind of operations upon an object. Okay, these are the 5 operations: modifier, selector, iterator, constructor and destructor. These are the 5 operations of modifier, selector, iterator, constructor and destructor. See, what is meant by modifier? That is an operation that alerts to the state of an object. When it will be alert particular operation, then it is called as a modifier. And selector, an operation that accesses the state of an object but does not alter to the state. An operation that accesses the state of an object but does not alter the state. That will be only access to the particular object. And iterator, an operation that permits all parts of an object to be accessed in some well-defined order. It means it may be it permits to the all the operations. Okay. And the constructor, an operation that creates an object and or initialize its states. Okay, it will be create an object. And destructor, an operation that frees the state of an object and or destroy the object itself. Okay, that is called as a destroy. That is a destroy to the particular object. So constructor means creating the particular object, and destructor means it will be destroy particular object. So these are the 5 operations of the particular objects. See, what is mean operation? Operation is provide a service to the class. Okay, see, there are the different types. First one is the modifier, second one is the selector, third one is the iterator, fourth one is the constructor, and fifth one is the destructor. Okay. And identity. Identity is the property of an object is used to identify a particular object uniquely and distinguish it from all other objects. So whenever we can identify, it will be different to the different objects. Okay, see here, it is a radius, the color is a red, like circle, it is a one of the color, it is a one of the color, it is a one of the color, that is the green, red, blue. So we can define 3 different type of circles, and 3 different type of circles we can assign. The first one is the green, second one is the red, and third one is the blue. In everything we can assign the different type of radius, that is the 15 and 10 and 5. So the 15 is the green circle, and 10 is the red circle, and 5 is the blue circle. So the property like identity is the different to the different objects. Okay, it is not to the same. An object lifespan, that is the object oriented programming. The object lifetime or life cycle of an object is the time between an object's creation and destruction. So the lifespan is the between of the object creation and object destruction. And the second, the life of an object extends from the time it is first created until the space is reclaimed. So the life of an object starts from the time it is the first created and ends with the destructs or garbage collection. That is having a memory location in the particular memory, and the lifetime of an object extends from the time it is the first created until the space is reclaimed. Okay. And the roles and responsibilities, Adam suggests a role is a mask that an object wears and so defines a contract between an abstraction and clients. That is the roles and responsibilities are the assigned the Adam. So then Adam is suggests a role is a mask that is an object wears and so defines a that between to the contract to the abstractions and its clients. So we've broke defines the responsibility of an object is include the two key items, that is the knowledge an object maintain and the action an object can perform, and the responsibility of an object are all the services it provide, all of the contract it supports. So it will provide to the service to the remaining of the contracts. An object may play different roles in its lifetime. So the roles will be different to the different type of lifetimes. Okay. Then objects as a machine. See, object is like a tiny independent machine. We may classify objects as either active or passive. So an active object is one that encompasses its own thread of control, whereas a passive object does not. Active objects are generally autonomous, meaning that they can exhibit some behavior without being operated on by any other objects. And passive objects on the other hand can undergo a state change only when explicitly acted on. So passive object is when it will be changes in explicitly, it will be processing. In this manner, the active objects in our system serve as the roots of the controls. So it will be roots of the controls. If our system involves multiple threads of control, we will usually have multiple active objects. So we will have multiple active objects, and sequential systems on the other hand usually have exactly one active object, such as a main object responsibility for managing an event loop that dispatches the messages. In such architectures, all other objects are passive and their behavior is ultimately triggered by messages from other than one active to the other actives. Okay. Then copying, assignment and equality. See, shallow copy, that is the which copies the object but share its state. Whenever you can copy and it will be shared to the classes. Okay. And deep copy, that is the which copies the object as well as its states. So as well as its state is called as the deep, and it will be shared to the called as the shallow. Okay. Assignment is also generally a copying operation. Simply assignment is called, it is the one of the copying operation. Okay. And equality can mean one of the two things. So in equality we can define the two different type of things. The first one is the equality can mean that two names designate the same object, and second one is that can be two names designate the different objects whose states are equal. Okay. There are two different type of things. The first one is the equality can mean that two names designate the same object, and second one, equality can mean that two names designate distinct objects. Okay. And next one, relationship among objects. Objects contribute to the behavior of a system by collaborating with one another. That is, the two kinds of object relationships are link and aggregations. There are the two types of the link and aggregations. Okay. See, object structure of an aeroplane. For example, the relationship between any two objects encompasses the assumption that each make about the other, including what operation can be performed, and two kinds of object hierarchies are particular interest in object-oriented analysis and design. That is a link and aggregation. So link. Ramberg derives a link as a process of integration. So link. Data link as a physical or conceptual connection between objects. See, a link denotes the specific association through which one object applies the service of another object, or through which one object may be navigate to the another. That is called as a link. See, one of the links is one of the controller display item view. See, it is the link between a controller to the display item and control to the display. There is a A display item and a B display item. That is, controller move to the display item is undergoing to the display item. Okay, now these are called as the links. There is a denotes specific association. There is a this link. This relation will be called as association relation. That is the between to the link to the two objects. That is called as an association link. This is one of the move and undergoing. These are the link. There is a link denotes the specific association through which one object applies the service of another object, or through which one object may be navigate to the another object. That is called as a link. It will be defined as a Ramberg. Okay, this is one of the author. He has defined the specific association through which one object applies to the service of the another object. Next, message passing between two objects typically may be unidirectional, although it may occasionally be directional. So, two different type of message passings are available. First one is the unidirectional and second one is the directional based upon the conditions. Okay. As a participant in a link, an object may play one of the three roles. The first one is the actor, and second one is the server, and third one is the agent. Okay. So actor, an object that can operate upon other objects but is never operated upon by other objects. In some contexts, the term active object and actors are interchangeable. In the based upon the conditions, the actors are the different. Okay, that is then the object that can be operate to the other objects, it is called as an active. That is called as an actor. And server, an object that never operates upon other objects, it only operated upon by other objects. Okay, it is called as a server. So operate is an actor, operated upon by other objects is called as a server. See, an object that never operates upon other objects, it is only operated upon by other objects. Next, agent, an object that can both operate upon other objects and be operated upon by other objects. An agent is usually created to do some work on the behalf of the particular system. That is called as a agent. So there are the three different type of participants. First one is the actor, and second one is the server, and third one is the agent. See, in the below figure, flow controller act as a controller object, display panel act as a server object, and valve act as a proxy. So here three different type of classes there, like objects. So here whenever it will be assigned an underline, it is called as an object. If there is no underline, it is called as a class. Okay, this is the difference between the class and object to identify. Underline is there, it is called as an object. If there is no underline, it is called as a class. See here we can assign the three objects. The first one is the flow controller, display panel, and valve. So flow control act as a controlling object, it will be controlled to the other objects, and display plan act as a server object, it will be operated to the different type of the objects. Okay, and valve act as a proxy, it is called as a, it will be defined act as a proxy. Okay, so three different type of objects are assigned. The first one is the flow control object, and second one is the display panel object, and third one is the valve and object. Okay, so how we can identify an object? Whenever the class name is underlined, see the underline is defined, we can easily identify it is an object. So object is an instance of a class, that is called as an object. Okay, so three different of object. First one is the flow controller, it will be act as a controller object. Next, display panel, it act as a server object, and valve act as a proxy. These are the types of the objects. Next, visibility. So consider two objects A and B with a link between the two. In order for A to send message to B, B must be visible to A in some manner. That is called as a visibility. That is the link between the A and B. So A will to send the message and B must be visible to A. That is the process of the visibility. here four different ways that one object may have visibility to another. The first one is the supplier object is the global to the client. Second one is the supplier object is a parameter to some operations of the client. Third one is the supplier object is a part of the client object, and supplier object is locally declared object in some operation to the client. These are the four different type of object visibility. The first one is the global. Global means all of the will be visible to the client. So the supplier object is the global to the client. And next one is the parameter, that is to some of the operations to perform to the client. And third one is the supplier object is the part of the client object. And fourth one is the supplier object is a locally declared. So first one is the global, parameter, and client of the object, and fourth one is the locally declared object in some operation to the client. Only some of the operations we can declare is locally. So both of the choosing that we can go for the global, and some of the operations we can use the only parameters, and some of these the part of the client object. See, here we can apply in visibility four different ways that one object may have visibility to the another. That is the supplier object is global to the client, the supplier object is a parameter to some operation of the client, the supplier object is a part of the client object, and the supplier object is locally declared an object in some operations of the client. Okay, these are the visibility. Okay, the next one,